Hey everybody. So I am here in the greenhouse again today. I am going to be working on this crepe myrtle. It's one that I've worked on previously. It was the one that had the fungus or mold or whatever it was that was on the trunk before it had any branches. And this is what it looks like after it started growing. It's been probably about 2 months now since it started growing, I think. Since it actually got leaves on it and actually started growing again from the winter time. Of course, the roosters are going to tell you how it is all the time. I apologize for that. I might have to move them eventually somewhere else because they always tell me what's going on whenever I'm in here talking. So anyway, this is my crepe myrtle. It is one that I dug up. It was right next to the house, and the trunk actually looked this way. It was bent already like this. I don't know if it got broken off somehow or if it got bent over and smashed. I don't know. I don't know how it did that, but I really think it's really cool, and I'm gonna keep going with it. I'm gonna keep going with it being a flat tree like this. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm going to clean it up because it's got a lot of really long growth on it, and when you start getting really long growth at the top of the tree, which is typically going to be where it's at, it starts thickening up the branches too much, too fast. So these branches are super thick, and you've got really twiggy branches at the bottom of the tree, and that just doesn't look right. So obviously we've got to cut it way back, get the thicker branches either completely gone or cut them far enough back that it gets more proportionate to the branch that it's attached to, so it looks like it's coming off of that branch, whereas it's part of that branch. So I'm going to get to work on this and start cutting stuff back. And I don't know how much talking I'll do. I always say that and then I end up talking a lot. I don't know why I do that. But anyway, I'm going to get to work and start trimming off these branches, or trimming back the branches. And I'm going to trim them back to about 2 leaves on the branch, or 2 sets of leaves. I'm kind of starting from the top just because it's easier to get to. I know I've said before, starting from the bottom is what you should do. That's mostly with wiring and just to keep track of where you're at on the tree. I'm going to leave this one grow a little bit because it's on the bottom branch. I think that's like the lowest back branch, if you want to call it the back branch, on this side. So that one could thicken up a little bit, could thicken this bottom branch up a little bit. And I think I'm going to leave the bottom one here too a little bit. But this one is getting too long. Most of the time you're trimming to maintain the scale of the tree and maintain the shape of the tree. So if the branches are going too long and they're starting to change the thickness of the trees, the portions are getting out of whack, for lack of a better term on that. If they're getting too long or too big or whatever, you want to trim them back to keep them from getting too big and too long, so that everything stays in proportion and it looks like a tree rather than a shrub or just a plant that you let go crazy. And also you're wanting to look at, like in this section right here, there's a branch, and a branch. This one is growing kind of outwards and down. This one's going across, and this one's kind of growing up. So I'm going to take the one that's growing up completely off so that it's from 1 to 2. I'm going to leave that one to let this lower branch thicken up a little bit. Got a dead branch in here. A lot of times I'll look at the directions that the leaves or the branches are going and determine whether I want to keep the whole branch or if I want to get rid of the whole branch. And this branch right here is starting to grow outside of the silhouette. This one here, starting to grow outside of the silhouette. So I kind of want to cut this branch off all the way right here so that it keeps the silhouette of the tree. I might want to hurry because it's about to start raining. It's been kind of a crazy week with the rain. And it's super hot in here, so that doesn't help. I'm not cutting it all the branches back to 2 leaves, but I'm cutting them to a length that I want the next set of branches to come out at that length to maintain the silhouette and maintain the shape that I'm trying to get out of this tree. Some of them I'll trim back farther and some of them I won't trim back as far. Let's take all the way off. It's got a new branch. One of the last trees that I worked on, I was talking about leaving branches on until it back buds and then taking the other branch off, and always be looking out for a new or a replacement branch for one that's not going in the direction that you want it to. So this one was going in this direction, which is completely crossing the trunk and crossing everything, so you couldn't see the shape of the trunk there and how interesting it is. So this one, being that it was pretty much laying across there, taking that one out so that you can see what's going on. And then this one here, it's almost growing straight down. That one's going to come off because it just doesn't look good going straight down. But I do want, there's a branch right here on the end of this nub, I guess it is. The last branch was coming out and I trimmed it back. And this one started growing downwards. So I'm going to leave the little branch and let that one grow out. Give it a little bit more, fill this in a little bit. And then this branch here, I don't know if you can see it from the camera, this one here, it's kind of growing in a weird direction, almost straight up, kind of comes out and then goes up. Kind of want to take that off, but I kind of don't. No, I'm going to take that one off. I'm going to take it off right at the trunk, and it's a little bit thicker, so I'm going to take it off. Do that. There's another branch that's right above it, right here. This branch is right above it, so it was right here. So that one's going to take this spot. And this one is a pretty thick branch for being as small of a tree it is. It's got some size to it. So I'm going to plant this in the sand, see if I can get a new tree out of it. If I do, that'd be great. If not, I've got quite a few crepe myrtles and other places to get cuttings from too, so just kind of practicing with cultivating more trees. The more you practice, the better you get. Alright, so that really opened it up, give it the ability to have some more light on the interior of the tree to help the lower branches grow a little bit thicker and faster and better. Cut back the canopy a little bit, get it right back into shape again. And this tree, being the crepe myrtle, they grow really rapidly out here. So that was like a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so of growth. So I'll probably go back and show you guys again once it starts growing back from this pruning, because each one of these tips should grow a new branch, because that's kind of how these guys grow. They grow really out the ends of the branches and stuff like that, and then I could cut it off right here and it'll grow new branches out of it. So it's pretty cool tree. Really enjoy working with them. But I think that's going to be it for this tree today. I might pull out some of the weeds here, just noticed. I'm trying to catch the weeds as they're small so that it's easier to pull them out. Once they get to a larger size, then it pulls all the soil out with the weeds, and I don't want to do that. It looks like I have some ants on this tree. Which isn't a terrible thing, but ants typically indicate pests that you don't want. A lot of times they'll harvest the sap that the aphids create when they suck the leaves. I don't see any aphids on here. I don't see any other pests except the ants. So I might put a little bit of powder, ant powder on the soil here to eliminate the ants out of the soil, and I'll be good with it. That's all I've got there. Ant powder. I've got it in a little bottle here. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit around the soil, and I don't know what this stuff is exactly, so I'm not going to tell you a name of what stuff really works, but this stuff really works. I just don't remember what the actual pesticide is, so I'm not sure what that is, so I won't say, because obviously you can't read it anymore because the label turned white. So that's that for this tree, and thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, that's really helpful to me, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.